Orange Shirts Day in Canada, remembering residential school survivors. Presentation overview. History of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is a national day of remembrance that commemorates the residential school system and its impact on Indigenous peoples. It is named after a young girl named Phyllis Webstard, who had her new orange shirt taken away from her on her first day of residential school. Significance of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day plays a crucial role in the reconciliation process by raising awareness about the residential school system and its impacts on Indigenous peoples. It is also a way to honor survivors and remember those who did not make it out of the schools alive. Observance of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is observed across Canada on September the 30th, with a variety of events and activities, including wearing orange shirts, raising awareness, and participating in ceremonies and gatherings. The history of Orange Shirt Day. Residential School System. The residential school system was a Canadian government-backed initiative that aimed to assimilate Indigenous children into Canadian culture by forcibly removing them from their families and communities. Impact on Indigenous communities. The residential school system had devastating impacts on Indigenous communities, including the loss of language, culture, and family connections. Phyllis Webster's story. Phyllis Webster's story of having her new orange shirt taken away from her on her first day of residential school inspired the creation of Orange Shirt Day as a way to honor and remember the survivors of the residential school system. Phyllis's story. Phyllis Webster's orange shirt was taken away from her when she arrived at the residential school, which inspired the creation of Orange Shirt Day, the symbol of the harm that the residential school system inflicted on Indigenous children and their families. Significance of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is a national day of remembrance and reconciliation. It honors the survivors and victims of the residential school system and promotes reconciliation, healing, and understanding. Reconciliation process. Reconciliation process involves acknowledging the harm and trauma that the residential school system inflicted on Indigenous peoples and taking steps towards healing, understanding, and restoring relationships. Awareness and understanding. Orange Shirt Day promotes awareness and understanding of the impacts of the residential school system on Indigenous peoples and communities, and encourages Canadians to learn about Indigenous history, culture, and perspectives. Reconciliation. Reconciliation is an ongoing process of repairing relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in Canada, aimed at addressing the harm caused by colonial policies and system of residential schools. Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is an annual event in Canada that provides an opportunity for people to reflect on the harm caused by the residential school system and to support healing and reconciliation. The legacy of residential schools. Intergenerational impacts. The residential school system had intergenerational impacts on Indigenous communities, including loss of language and culture, trauma, and systemic racism. Reconciliation. Reconciliation is an ongoing process of healing and rebuilding relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. It involves acknowledging the harm caused by the residential school system and taking action to address its legacy. Observing Orange Shirt Day. What is Orange Shirt Day? Orange Shirt Day is a day of remembrance and recognition of the residential school system in Canada and its impact on Indigenous communities. It is held annually on September the 30th. Individuals. Individuals can participate in Orange Shirt Day by wearing orange shirts to show support for Indigenous peoples and to raise awareness about the impact of residential schools. Schools. Schools can participate in Orange Shirt Day by organizing educational events such as guest speakers and workshops to raise awareness about the impact of residential schools and to promote reconciliation. Wearing orange shirts. Origins of the orange shirt. The orange shirt has its origin in the experience of a survivor of the residential school system. It has become a symbol of remembrance and reconciliation, representing the ongoing legacy of the residential school system and the need to support survivors and their families. Supporting residential school survivors. Wearing an orange shirt is a powerful way to show support for the survivors of the residential school system and their families. It is a symbol of solidarity and an expression of the need for reconciliation. Educational events. Educational events are an important way for schools and communities to participate in Orange Shirt Day. There are many different types of educational events that can be organized, including speakers, workshops, and cultural activities. Conclusion. Importance of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is an important day of remembrance and reconciliation for Indigenous peoples in Canada. It is a time to remember the harmful legacy of residential schools and honor the survivors and their families. Learning about Orange Shirt Day. By learning about the history, significance, and observance of Orange Shirt Day, we can work towards a better future for all Canadians. We can honor the survivors and increase awareness and understanding of Indigenous peoples' experiences and perspectives. Thank you.